Welcome to practice. We're going to begin laying down. One of my favorite places to begin. And take a blanket, could be a rolled up towel, to make a bolster shape for under the shoulder blade. We've been using this a lot for beginning our practice. I like how it tunes us in to the shape of the upper back. And reminds us what's possible there as we get older. And soles of the feet together and knees out wide, unless that, for some reason, that's too strong for you to begin. And then you could have just soles of the feet on the floor, parallel legs and feet. Supta Baddha Konasana. Find the shape of your breath. And let your body relax around that breath. Giving into the shape of the posture. Find the length of your breath. Nice. And we're going to take the arms overhead and give your upper back a nice stretch. Arms, shoulders, palms facing up. Back of the neck relaxed. And again, let your body relax around the breath. Noticing where the shape might be awkward. Resisting the equipment a little. I'm going to bring the awareness of that part of your body between the shoulder blades, the spine there, into the practice. So releasing slowly your arms and your legs and roll carefully off to your right side. And come into forward Virasana. So big toes touching. Take your hips back as far as they'll go, or your sit bones towards your heels. And reach the arms forward. Find that place in your back between the shoulder blades. And imagine that the blanket was still helping you ease the bones of the spine towards the front of the torso so that the chest feels broad and long. Finding the breath and feeling your body lengthen and become spacious around that breath. Good, and then come into downward facing dog pose. Lifting the hips high, letting the head just hang down. And pressing the heels, one heel and then the other. Mm. Feeling the flow of your breath and the space of your breath. And your body taking this posture and these movements around the breath. Mm. Knees to the floor, and we'll take the hands further forward. So we're going to keep the hips over the top of the knees. So as you bring your chest, your armpits towards the floor, it's quite a big stretch in the shoulders. So take it slow, just what you need. Back of the neck long. Mm. Nice work. Walk your hand, lift up and walk your hands back, downward facing dog pose again. This time pressing both of the heels, feeling the flow of breath. Mm. I'm going to bring the right knee forward to the right wrist and then back into downward facing dog pose. And then we're going to bring the left knee forward to the left wrist or in that direction to downward facing dog pose. Check in that your fingerprints are pressing down the base of your index fingers, elbows a tiny bit bent, right knee, right wrist. Back to downward facing dog pose and left knee, left wrist. We're going to do one more on each side. Feeling the flow of breath. That essential awareness of the core of the body. Left knee, left wrist. And both heels press. Good. And then forward virasana again. The big toes touching, knees out wide. Hips towards the heels. Lengthen the hands and arms forward, but the shoulder blades back and the back of the neck long. Feel the flow of breath. Good. And then come back into downward facing dog pose. Press the fingerprint. Hips back. Lift the stick bones. Let the head just hang down. Nice work. Step the right knee to the right wrist. Now, if you have trouble twisting your knee, keep your heel underneath your sit bone, your right heel underneath your right sit bone, or bring the right foot so it's closer to the left hand. And then we'll take the left knee to the floor and slide the leg back. So we bring the hips as close to the floor as you can. If you're feeling particularly awkward here, it's uncomfortable to try and bring the hips to the floor, a blanket underneath the right sit bone can really make the whole posture feel more doable. Good. Otherwise, we're going to be bringing the hips as close to the floor as you can, and then lift the belly and lift the breastbone. Now, if I walk my hands back towards my chest or towards my body, then I make more of a back bend shape, and I'm right up on the fingertips. You could try that. We want to lengthen the spine without feeling like we're compressing, crushing the spine. So let yourself be long. Draw the shoulder blades down. Looking up. Nice work. Press the left foot down and squeeze the kneecap away from the floor and squeeze the left buttock. Beautiful. Now we're going to take the torso forward. So you're going to walk your hands forward. I'm going to try and lengthen the belly and the breastbone, and maybe you can be on bent elbows or even elbows on the floor. And some people can take that further and bring the arms out straight in front. And we try to keep the torso fairly level to the floor. Good, and then walking the hands back. Beautiful. And then we're going to step back into downward facing dog pose. Left knee forward to the left wrist. Now you can keep your left heel lined up under the sit bone if that feels better for your knee, or you can sweep the left foot forward in the arc towards your right hand. Good. So we lower the right knee, slide the right leg back until the hips are closer to the floor. Take a support underneath the left sit bone if it's up high and it just feels more comfortable to support yourself with the blanket. Good, and we want to find our back bend. So up onto fingertips. Imagine you're wrapping your fingers around tennis balls and squeezing the tennis balls, the strong fingers, and lengthening the spine. We don't want to just crimp or squash into the lower back. So find your lengthening, lifting the belly, lifting the breastbone. Press the top of the right foot down, lifting the kneecap away from the floor. Finding the flow of your breath. Feeling the body taking shape around that breath. Beautiful. Now we're going to reach the torso forward. So walking the hands forward. You might be able to bend your elbows a little, reaching forward, even elbows to the floor. Or even arms out straight in front. Bringing the torso as long as you can and as level as you can. Press down the right foot, squeeze the kneecap, squeeze the buttock muscle. Beautiful. And then walking the hands back, stepping the left foot back, and come into downward facing dog pose. Press both heels down. In fact, walk your feet forward a little bit. So you've got quite a short distance, relatively short, for downward facing dog pose, and see if you can get your heels closer to the floor. Stretch the fingers out wide. Elbows a little bit bent. Nice work. Now we're going to step the right foot between the hands. If you feel like you're going to get stuck in that movement, that just doesn't seem to be room, there's another way of approaching it. You can bring your knees to the floor, lifting your hands off the floor, right foot forward, tuck the left toes under, and you're in a long lunge position. We're going to lift up into Virabhadrasana 1 from here. So pressing the back heel, so the back leg is straight, bend the front knee, put the front foot tracking parallel to the edges of the mat, the back foot tracking parallel. Draw the shoulder blades down. Lift the belly, find that back bend shape again, lifting the breastbone. Feel that spine between the shoulder blades, pressing forward and looking up. Beautiful. We're going to bring the hands back down onto the floor and step the right foot back, downward facing dog pose. Good. Now we're going to step the left foot forward between the hands. Doesn't have to be all one movement. We might take knees to the floor, hands off the floor, left foot forward, and then find your long lunge. And then lifting the torso. Ooh, arms by the ears, pressing the back heel, lifting the belly, lifting the breastbone, drawing the shoulder blades down. Ah, nice work. Bring your hands to the mat. Take the left foot back, downward facing dog pose. Nice work. Forward virasana. But here we're going to take the knees as wide as you can. Big toes touching. So let the knees slide out. So that it's a bigger sensation of stretch on the inner thighs. And feel your body taking shape around the breath. Nice work. Walk the hands back and bring the knees in so you can come back into downward facing dog pose. We're going to step whichever foot forward for you that brings you facing the long edge of your mat and your device. Right foot. So we're going to swing around. We've got wide legs. Turn the toes in, and we're facing the long edge of the mat. Lift the kneecap, lift the quadriceps, and lift the sit bone. You're going to walk your hands out as far as you can. So, Prasarita Padottanasana. I can't say it. Prasarita Padottanasana. Getting in a brain fluster. Finding the breath. Pressing the outside edges of the feet. Lifting the inner arches of the feet. Lifting the kneecap. Lifting the sit bones. Nice work. Now we're going to walk the hands back underneath the shoulders and look forward. Find the spine between the shoulder blades and really try to embed it into the front chest. The front chest feels forward here. We're going to bend the right knee so that you start to stretch your left leg. So lean to the right as much as you can with the hips. Good, back to center, and then bend the left knee and lean to the left as much as you can with your hips, stretching your right leg. Good, and we're going to keep going from side to side. So obviously, you pay attention to your knees here. Don't overdo it if you're vulnerable in your knees. Good. Come back to center. Turn the toes out and try again. Swinging the hips from side to side, stretching the opposite leg. Now, you might be able to, with the help of your hands, by walking them along the floor, even bring the hips all the way down to the heel, so you're in a squat position to one side. So with the straight leg, toes lift up and point up to the ceiling. So if that just feels like too big a movement in your body, stick with the simply swinging the hips and bending the leg and straightening your opposite leg. And your hands are there to help you. Now, you might even get the feeling that you may be able to do this without using your hands. Give that a go. I'll be very wobbly if I try to do that, but I'm going to try. Side to side. Good. And then back to center. Hands underneath the shoulders. Press the heels out again. So toes in, heels out. Lift the right up onto the fingertips this time. Look forward to finding the back bend shape. And then folding forward. We're going to lengthen the front of the torso as far as we can. Top of the head reaching forward. Maybe your hands can even walk back with ease between the feet, the top of the head towards the floor between the feet. Strong legs here. Lift the kneecaps, lift the sit bone. Nice work. Put the hands back underneath your shoulders. Now we're going to sit down. So sit in a way that feels comfortable for you. We're going, if you would like to follow, I'm going to hop my feet in for a little squat. Just make sure that my feet are feeling flexible enough to sit down from here. So wriggling around a little bit and sitting onto your blanket. We're going to take the legs out into the wide position. Blanket folding. I like a blanket to sit on that accommodates. It's wide enough for the sit bone. Okay, wide leg position. Wide leg position, we're aiming for the knees to go as far as they can because then you'll get the bigger stretch on those inner fibers of the hamstring. Good. We're going to start off with micro movement. And if you lengthen your spine, let your head be very relaxed on your neck, you're going to take that long spine and neck and draw a circle with the top of your head. So your whole torso is moving around the pelvis. You'll start to feel all those little movements, the attachments in the front of the hip, the abdomen to the pelvis, the back to the pelvis, other direction. Space nice and long in the sides of the body. If you point your toes away from you, it's not as big a stretch for your hamstrings, so it might make life a little easier here. If you're pretty stretchy, you can keep them dorsiflex. All right, and then come back to center. So we're a little warmed up now. And let's wave the spine forward and back. Exploring that forward and back movement. Maybe what you find is there's a lot of movement in your upper back, but not much going on in the lower back or the pelvis. So try to wave leading with the belly button. And then just let the upper back follow. Try to get the belly button to move as far forward as you can and as far back as you can. Far forward. Feel how that, bringing that focus further down the spine, gets more movement, more awareness around the pelvis, the sacrum, the lower back. Go in the other direction, but still leading with the belly button. So as the belly button leads forward and the corresponding vertebra behind the belly button leads back, waving the rest of the spine to follow so that it just feels like a natural following. Okay, nice work, lengthening the spine. We're going to take the left leg in. Bring your right hand to your right leg. And to begin with, we're going to take the left arm and reach it behind. And you're going to reach so far behind that your hand comes out in the vicinity of your right hip. If you can reach far enough, or if you've got long arms, you can hold on to the inside of your right thigh. Or else hold your t-shirt or somewhere near your hip. And we're going to turn the torso to the left side. You can press your right hand against the left. Turning and finding where the body seems to stop turning. And then finding your breath. And let your body take shape around your breath. Mm. Mm. Good. And the last part of that movement will be to release your left arm, but keep the turn of your rib. Bring the left arm by the left ear. And we're going to reach the torso in the direction of the right leg. Maybe you can hold onto your foot or bend your elbow, reaching in that direction. Pay attention to the front of the body falling forward. We want to keep that feeling of opening the heart towards the ceiling, the left ribs reaching back. Oh, the back of the neck long. Ooh, see how much of your side body you can lengthen. Around the breath. Nice work. And then bringing your torso up. Take the left leg back out to straight. Oh, and then the right leg into bend. Paravrta Janushirsasana. Lovely. So we're going to begin with the left hand presses on the inside of the left leg so that we can press and turn the ribs. Bring the right arm behind you and reach as far as you can across to the left hip. And then you might find your thigh or piece of t-shirt, even delightful flesh. We're going to roll the right ribs back. And notice that feeling of limit. And discover with the breath whether it's just a perception. As you breathe in, the ribs expand. The diaphragm moves into the belly. Belly expands. As you breathe out, the ribs contract, the diaphragm moves into the lung cavity, and there's room to move the belly. Whoa. Beautiful. Let's keep that nice strong turn now. Take the right arm up by the right ear and begin to lengthen the left ribs towards the left thigh. Maybe your left hand slides down your leg towards your foot. Pay attention to the heart opening upward towards the sky, the right ribs rolling back. How much of your right side can you lengthen here? Ooh, feeling your body taking shape around the breath. Ah, and then inhale. and coming up. Whoa. We're going to bring the legs into simple cross-legged position or whatever's comfortable. If you're working with a knee vulnerability, maybe your legs are out straight. And we're going to take forward bend. Put the hands behind the hip, lengthening the belly, lengthening the breastbone. Reach the torso as far forward as you can and recall all of those little movements that we were exploring with the spinal wave. Recall the feeling of the pelvis moving forward, tipping forward and moving forward, and letting the spine follow so that we don't lead the movement with our most flexible part of the back. For most people, that's the upper back, but rather embed the bone between your shoulder blades forward. Let your body take shape around your breath. Keep your hands where they make sense, so maybe behind your hips, maybe out in front. And as your posture, your body takes shape around the breath, notice what feels difficult, where the breath may catch. Appreciating what feels difficult here in your body. We're going to walk the hands back now, just lifting up enough to change the cross of your legs. So the other one on top or in front. And leading with the awareness of your suppleness around the pelvis, around the lower back, finding your forward bend. Your hands might be behind your hips to help with that, or in front if that makes sense. Feeling your body taking shape around the breath, taking shape in this posture. However difficult and challenging it may be, appreciating the way your body moves, the way your body resists. Easing the bones of the spine forward. And then releasing and coming up. Nice work. We're going to take bamboo pose. So laying down with your blanket handy, and the blanket is to go underneath the hips. So that the legs can balance in towards the chest. Now, if you can't get that feeling that your legs are just balanced there and the core is relaxed, then maybe this blanket needs to be higher, so doubled over, or in a different position on the pelvis, maybe lower towards the elbow. And if you can just balance, then put your legs up. If you really can't get that feeling and it feels like struggle in your back or your belly, keep the blanket there, nice and comforting under the sacrum, but put the soles of the feet on the floor. So nice at this point of the practice for your pose to feel comforting. Legs up the wall. Sorry, it's not legs up the wall, it's bamboo pose. Silly Donna. I love the gentle upside down postures in your heart. The supported postures that let you tune into the inner child, the being upside down on the floor. Mm. There's a effect in this posture on the belly, on the digestion. You might be able to feel how the abdomen hollows. The weight of the leg, substantial weight in the bone and muscle. Strong bone, strong muscle. And the legs sit in the hip socket. And the plasticity of the pelvis means that it feels a little bit wider. The organs settle wider in a different position. We make space in the body, particularly pelvis. Feel the shape of the breath in your body, and your body taking shape around the breath. You feel my digestion really starting up. All right, we're going to take the feet down now and lifting the hips and taking the blanket out. Arms straight out from the shoulders. Inside edges of the feet together, knees together. We'll lift the hips and swing them right and knees go left. And again, let your body take shape around the breath. Shape of the posture. Like a little extra stretch, you could take the right leg to straight. You might be able to hold your right foot or just reaching in that direction. Bend that right leg back with the left and use your core awareness to feel plenty of muscular support as you lift your leg. Lifting your hips and swinging them left and knees go right. Finding that nice shape of the twist. Turn your head, look over your left. Feeling your shape in the posture. If you want that extra little bit of stretch, you can try taking hold of your left foot with your right hand, straightening that leg. Or if you have short arms, just straightening the leg if you like. Beautiful. Bend the left leg back in and awareness of your whole core. So when you lift, you feel so much support for the spine. So people who'd like to stay for Shavasana, put your legs out to straight. People who need to finish the practice here, hug your knees into your chest and rocking a little from side to side. And when you're ready, rolling to your right side and coming up, sitting. Namaste. Um, Shavasana, lengthening your spine as much as you can, letting the legs just roll out, the upper arms roll out so the palms are facing up, closing your eyes. It can be nice here. If you wear glasses, you can just take them off and put them beside you. Because in Shavasana, we get to tune the senses in. To notice how the feet feel, how the ankles feel, how the lower legs feel, and the knees, and the thighs, the hips, belly, around the sacrum, and the buttock. Notice how the lower half body feels. Noticing again the abdomen and the organs therein, your lower back, middle back, between the shoulder blades, between your shoulder blade and the rib cage. Feel the movement of the rib cage as you breathe. Even though your intention is to be still, the breath is moving. Feel the shape of the breath in your chest. Noticing your shoulders and your armpit. Upper arm, elbow, forearm, wrist, and palm and thumb and fingers. Feel now the back of your neck and your throat, base of the skull and scalp, your forehead and around your eyebrow, between them, around your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Feel your jaw and ears. And now your whole body and its shape around the breath. Notice the feeling of breathing. And at the same time, feeling of being breathed. Feel again body, substance of your body. Notice that even though your intention is to be still, the breath is moving, the body is moving with the breath. Let your intentional movement, like wiggling your hands and feet, feel as natural as the breath. Bending in your arms and your legs. And rolling to your right side. And coming up to sitting. Bringing your hands in front of your heart. and take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.